Okay, now this is one discussion I am very much invested and interested in because I'll tell you why. We have one of the most versatile and forward-thinking artists in Nigeria, Anthony Ezekwo. He's an author and a self-taught digital artist and creative entrepreneur whose artworks have been shown at exhibitions across Lagos with his most recent project, Exclusive Black Edition, which was so unique it caught the attention of quite a number of people, including celebrities. It's great to have you, Anthony. You are welcome.
No, nice to be here. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's great to talk to a Gen Z entrepreneur, right?
Gen Z, yeah, fair enough.
Were you considering?
I always forget. I'm like, okay, yeah, true, Gen Z.
Why would you forget? Why would you forget?
Yeah, it's not something that I even think about like consciously.
Yeah, because I think business to Gen Z, as it were, is quite different from how a number of us grew, in business. Because you had to be serious, you had to be focused, you had to read. But now in these days, somebody is playing with toys, and just because the person's on YouTube, the person is making money, and the person is an entrepreneur and making serious money.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of seriousness and focus. Like for me, for instance, I'm up at like 7. We're working in the studio. We have like our interviews. We are doing our things, like our projects. So there's a lot of like hyper focus. In fact, it's like it goes all around the clock.
All around the clock. Let's talk about how this started for you. You're quite young, so when did this entrepreneurial tendency kick off?
Oh, I feel like even from secondary school, I was always like doing little things, like always trying to find out, okay, how do we turn this amount of money I have now into like something more?
Okay.
We were like selling chicken in like school, like for our family days and all that in one sense. So I feel like that's always been part of it. With my work, like I started writing when I was 13.
Okay.
And that developed into like art when I was around 16 as well.
Writing when you were 13, I was reading when I was 13. I enjoyed reading. I never thought of writing, but what inspired that spark to write at that age?
I feel like the environment I was in as well, because I went to a school where like we were kind of encouraged to always try new things.
Oh, okay.
So in trying it, and of course with the internet, like when you're doing one thing, the odds are like there's going to be like 5 people who are also interested.
Okay.
So I feel like that momentum carried on, and it really helped me out.
Out and all of that. Okay, but now you've moved into artwork. How did you transfer this art and this talent now into making money?
I would say it took a while. Like I didn't really make any money for like the first couple of years because the focus wasn't money. It was kind of having fun. I'm enjoying this. Like I'm waking up every day and I have my strict schedule, like my regimen, and it's like that's what's propelling me. Then of course you get to the point where people are like, oh wow, this is so nice. Here's some money, like do this. And I feel like from then it just kind of started where, I do work, I get paid, invest that money back into like my craft to get better tools. And it just kept on going.
You sculpt also?
Yes, I sculpted it.
How did that one kick off for you also?
So that was like last year where I realized that, okay, I've been doing the writing thing, the digital painting thing, but then for me, if I'm not exploring and trying to find better ways to challenge myself, I get very bored and restless. So the sculpting, I was like, let me do something else. And how do I like also tell stories that I can't do with this particular medium? Because sculpting is a bit more technical.
It is.
So it was definitely like a huge step up.
Harder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, I need to step up. So that's kind of what propelled that.
Right, but now there's what you call digital artistry, as it were. What exactly do you mean when people say digital artist?
So digital art, I mean, there's a lot of like confusion in the public, especially with what digital art actually is.
Exactly, yeah.
For me, simply, it's really just art that you're making with digital mediums.
Okay.
So for me, I've never really like painted on like canvas. It's always just been. It started with my mouse.
Your mouse, exactly.
Computer, and then now I have like a tablet. So really, that's all digital art is. It's like any other medium. There's nothing too like special about it.
Exactly.
I'm asthmatic, so even like oil paint, all that smells, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work for you.
So
wonderful. So you can. I like that because you can still pursue your passion in spite of whatever limitations.
Yeah, exactly. My studio is a very clean space. Like there's not too much, and I like it. So it's definitely. I feel like it works for some people. It doesn't, and it just really do what works for you.
Okay, now let's get to the question I'm waiting to ask now.
Yeah.
Digital artistry and all that. Where does AI come into all of this? What is the future? 20, 30 years from now, will digital artists still be relevant? Would AI have taken that job away?
No, for sure. And I think it now goes back to what we would define art as.
Okay.
Art to me has always gone past, the technical ability. As in, you can teach anybody to draw a tree. Drawing a tree is nothing special. Being able to communicate, however, what it feels like when you saw that tree, that's where the art is, if that makes sense. So the art is not in the technical ability, it's kind of in the emotive ability that you're able to communicate.
Okay.
So with AI, it's kind of like, now the AI can do this and that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's cool. I don't feel threatened because I'm like, nobody still can communicate to anybody else what it's like to be me, what it's like to see the world.
The way you are, exactly.
And
So
AI
it's about
doesn't
being
have
unique.
that. Unique. Because AI can draw the Mona Lisa, but nobody can tell you what it's like to be a Nigerian. Only a Nigerian can tell you that Nigerians are living through these times. So those unique experiences are still, and probably now even more relevant than before. Because, you know, with AI, it's like saturating the internet with all these images that look cool, but are empty.
That's the point. I like that. There's that thing that you see. You said empty. I've never used that word, but you can. There's that hollow, that thing. It like,
you know, it's this thing. It's called uncanny valley. Your mind automatically can understand that something is weird here.
And I think maybe one other thing also is maybe because of its perfection in some ways. You know, when you see something somebody else done, you could see something like, okay, this is not, but when you see this thing and it's almost
it's shiny, it's gleaming.
Yeah, it's all of that.
Your mind automatically, everybody can always tell when this is AI. Like your body is telling that something is wrong.
Okay.
The same way your eyes, like when you were like looking at a valley, you can immediately tell what's missing because your body is saying that this is.
So your message will be that don't get threatened by AI. Uniqueness is what will push you in whatever you're
uniqueness has always been the thing. Like I said, everybody can draw or write. Like these are not special abilities; they're technical. As in, anybody can train to get them.
All right.
But then, for instance, it's like the Mona Lisa. For instance, is not special because it's a realistic portrait. It's special because it's communicating something about that time.
That time.
And that's exactly what all the artists have done. Where it's like it goes past the technical ability.
Wonderful.
What AI is doing is just reducing the gap. Now, what's going to be able to happen is more people are going to be able to explore and find ways to communicate with what's in their minds.
Wonderful. Now let's talk about some business lessons that you could teach people. How important is it? Now there's passion and there's money.
Okay.
Someone will tell you that, look, hey, come on, I don't need to be passionate about something. It's all about the money, and so let me just get into make money and all that. But we know how far passion can take somebody. Passion has taken people past, you know, the hustle and the beginning stage and all of that. How important is it, the place of passion in making money in business?
I would say that in particular when it comes to the creative industry where like challenges come every day. You know, you're facing, this didn't work out, this person has called you, said this, this one has fallen. Passion to me is the only thing that can get you through that. Because if you're doing it just for the money, you're not going to see the money at first. You know, so you're going to be very frustrated.
Well, somebody will say that money is enough passion, by the way, but that means it's still passion.
Yeah, I've said that. Even when let's say you wanted to be an artist today. Like, say, okay, I want to make money. For the first like 5 to 10 years, you may not make anything at all. In fact, you're going to be losing money. Passion is the only thing that can actually get you through those years. So if there's no passion for it, it's going to feel like hell. It's going to feel like punishment. Even worse.
Wonderful, wonderful. So Anthony, let's look at, I mean, you're quite at a young age. When you're 33, when you're 43, 53, what would you be doing? Yeah. What are we
well,
seeing?
For sure. I feel like for me, it's really almost about institutionalizing.
Okay.
Trying to find a way to A, support younger artists who are coming up.
I like that.
B, be able to kind of take a step back in like the next 10 years and be able to do other things as well. Because for me, like I'm an author as well.
Okay.
I want to have a book published soon. I want to enter like filmmaking. Okay. And it's also being able to understand that, okay, for me, I feel like my role here is to be able to show what can be done and then elevate the whole craft and be able to take a step back and do other things.
I like that.
Because for me, my skill has always been in that.
Anthony, this is the first time I'll be following you on social media. I will keep up to date with what you're doing. I would love to see how this journey unfolds.